Peter Antonopoulos. Today we're talking about neighbor disputes. What to do when your neighbor invades your property. There's an old saying, good fences make good neighbors. For most people, this saying couldn't be more true. However, for some people, those who don't respect good fences, or any border for that matter, there are other sayings that are a little bit more appropriate. Let's get a land survey and find out. Or better yet, I'd hate to ruin our relationship because we had to litigate this. Which of these sayings rolls off your tongue will all depend on your relationship with your neighbor and a little bit of knowledge. As such, understanding what to do when your neighbor invades your property is an important consideration as being a homeowner. Having the right knowledge can save you time, money, and a lot of frustration. So what to do when your neighbor invades your property? The land is the only thing in the world worth working for, worth fighting for, worth dying, because it's the only thing that lasts. Gerald O'Hara. Even if it's your neighbor's land, a fence, or other man-made or natural structure, or in addition to a home that is in or that encroaches on your property line, that might be enough to start a potential boundary line dispute. The first step to addressing a potential boundary line dispute is to speak to your neighbor and then compare copies of your deeds. For individuals living in the District of Columbia, you can obtain a copy of your deed and your neighbor's deed from the District of Columbia Recorders of Deeds office. While deeds may contain different types of language for the legal description, in the District of Columbia, it is customary for the deed to contain what is called a metes and bounds description of the property. The exact wording of the deed in its metes and bounds description should lay out the dimensions and the position of your property relative to nearby landmarks like roads and other structures. If it is unclear from your deed and your neighbor's deed who owns exactly what, it may be a good idea to hire an attorney and a surveyor. A professional land surveyor can give you a precise drawing of the properties and determination of who owns what. Finally, who will bear the expense largely turns on the state of your relationship with your neighbor. What are your legal remedies? Once you have the survey, both properties are known exactly what property belongs to who, and the encroaching party should respect the boundaries. If they don't, you should hire an attorney to create a sternly written letter. If that is ineffective, perhaps an invitation to attend mediation may help to resolve the conflict. Many homeowners associations' bylaws offer mediation services as a resolution mechanism for disputes between adjoining property owners. However, if your association does not offer this service, you can always hire a private mediator to help you work through the encroachment issue. In this case, only one other option is left for the use to resolve the dispute. Pursuing litigation against your neighbor may be the most effective way to resolve a dispute, as you have a judge order them to stay off your property. However, this process can be both costly and time-consuming and can ultimately ruin the relationship with your neighbor. What about trees encroaching on your property? Some disputes between neighbors have naturally occurring roots, trees. The limbs hang over the fence you built or break and fall onto your yard. Furthermore, maybe the roots of a tree are pushing through into your property. If the tree is on a boundary, most states will not allow either party to destroy it. Leaves, acorns, and the like falling onto your property are considered natural occurrences and are the property owner's responsibility to clear away. However, if branches fall and cause damage to your property for any reason other than a storm or act of God, your neighbor may be responsible for the cleanup and the damage. If the roots from a large tree are pushing onto your property, they are considered an encroachment in the same manner as a fence and other physical belongings. If the roots cross your property line, the tree owner has the right to remove them. In the District of Columbia, tree cover is a sensitive topic. Removing a tree may require city approval and a permit. As such, you cannot simply go out and trim branches that hang over your side of the property. The reason for this is doing so would potentially kill the tree. Likewise, if a tree threatens your home, you must obtain a permit from the city to get it removed. Once you obtain a permit, an arborist will be able to come out and remove the tree from your property. What about your neighbor's pets encroaching on your property? Perhaps it's not your neighbor's property that's crossing the line, it's their pets. A wandering cat or a dog can leave unwanted gifts or otherwise damage your property. As with most cases, however, you deal with this depends on where you live. And the District of Columbia has clear guidance governing pets. These guidelines include issues such as how they must be kept when in public. Furthermore, they also discuss when and how an owner must leash their pet. If the pet in question is dangerous or has hurt, what about neighbors? Last but not least is the most egregious and outrageous type of boundary crossing. Your neighbor is what's crossing your border. The person has cut a path through your backyard or your front yard. If you live in a rural area, you find them hunting or fishing or picnicking, etc. on your land without your permission. Trespassing is an area of law that covers these situations. Many times it carries a criminal penalty. If the neighbor is on your property doing something particularly offensive or dangerous, calling the police is the best and most immediate way of dealing with them. Understanding the different actions to take depending on how your neighbor invades your property is key to your success in resolving this dispute. Otherwise, document their trespass and file a police report. Get dates and times. If you can, get photos or statements of people witnessing the event. That will be of tremendous help. But remember, stay safe. Don't place yourself in danger. With this level of proof, you can easily have a court fine your neighbor or have a court create an order that requires them to stay off your property. For more information on what to do if your neighbor invades your property, please contact Antonopoulos & Associates at 202-803-5676 or on the web at www.antonlegal.com. Thank you.